Hey everybody, my name is Rydo, and today we will be starting a series for the Vanishing of Ethan Carter Redux. Now, you probably are going to want to go and watch my playthrough of the Vanishing of Ethan Carter that just aired. If you can't, you can find it by clicking on my name, Rydo. That'll get you to my main YouTube page. Click on that playlist tab. There should be a playlist for the Vanishing of Ethan Carter and the Vanishing of Ethan Carter Redux. Click on the playlist for the Vanishing of Ethan Carter and watch that because we're going to be playing this game basically twice in a row because they've remade it in Unreal Engine 4. So it's smoother, hopefully looks better, runs better. They've tweaked some of the puzzles, I believe. But since I just played the game, I am going to be practically speed running this. So, for some of the tweaks, we have now that a different video settings. For some reason, all of the anti-aliasing options in the original Ethan Carter are missing. And I don't really know what TAA is, or SMAA T2X, or SMAA 1X, or T plus FXAA is. I really wish they'd bother to explain any of these, but I do know one thing. If I go to the left on the control from disabled, that gives you TAA, which I assume means it's the highest. And Ultra seems to be even a little lower than that. Ultra does change the resolution scale down to up to 200%. I'm going to leave it at 100% now. I am going to try and stay within 60 frames per second locked uh, because unlimited frame rate probably means you would drop below 60 at certain times, but it would be probably better. But the other game, the other playthrough was at 60 locked, so I'll leave it there. Texture detail, detail distance, both high. Field of view was at 97 to begin with, and it can go all the way up to 120 or down to 70. What is weird about the new version is it doesn't seem like it changes what we're looking at right now when we change that, which is a little weird because it did in the previous game. Under advanced we just have all of the extra visual effects on, so we're doing it to ourselves if we have any trouble displaying this. Sound is all at 75. I'm continuing my experiment that I did with the previous series. Usually I have sound at 50, but I'm going to leave it at 75. Subtitles and all of that were on by default, and we'll leave them there. So, now we're going to start the Vanishing of Ethan Carter. If you haven't seen the game and you just want to watch a quicker run through, I guess that's fine. But it's going to be mostly the same as before, just without so much wandering around and making mistakes. I plan on doing, I think, everything in this game. I don't think we're just going to run to the ending. It might be interesting to run to the ending because it seems like you might be able to, but I think everything is the right way to do it for a fair comparison. Remember, this is a comparison of a game that was made originally in Unreal Engine 3 and then remade only a few months after it was released, maybe at most a year after it was released. It was remade in Unreal Engine 4, and I'm hoping we can see noticeable improvements. Otherwise, this is basically just me playing the game twice. Anywho, let's begin. This game is a narrative experience that does not hold your hand. I can attest to that. That is true.
Ethan Carter, I didn't know, but he knew who I was. When the police won't help you and the priests don't believe you, you call on Paul Prospero. You call on me. If you're a kid like Ethan, you're right. Plenty do. Ethan's letter started out just like any other fan mail. But soon there were mentions of things no little boy should know about. places that exist that very few people can see. Ethan could have drawn a map. I hadn't entered Red Creek Valley yet, but already I could feel its darkness reaching out for me. Finding Ethan Carter wasn't going to be as easy as knocking on his door. I was too late for that. To find Ethan, I had to figure out what this place was trying to hide from me.
Alright, so there's 14 achievements in this game. And I'm pretty much going to do them all. I got 13 out of 14 of them by just playing the game normally, because they're mostly story related. The first one is turning around and walking, which is something I did when playing the game just because obviously that's something I wanted to do. I will mention, however, that cutscene was slightly different than the original. I don't believe you were able to actually see the forest until that weird orange circle effect appeared. This is still kind of slow. We can run. Speed this up by holding the right trigger. Sounds like we might be getting maybe some better sound effects too. And so, we walked towards the light and it ended up very creepily bringing us right where we want. 391393. That was the same numbers on it before. Let's take a moment to look at detail. I think I am seeing maybe a little bit more detail, or the same level of detail, but possibly more fog effect, which would be a little disappointing since I have this maxed out. This game, if you don't know, is about, they're basically hide and seek puzzles, mysteries. And you walk pretty slowly in this area. So, there's traps in this forest for this first puzzle. That was one of the 2 scare jumps that were in this game, and it really got me. Every time we find another piece of the puzzle, we start filling out this circle, which is kind of weird because we don't fill out the circle like that in any other instance. I don't think, at least. It feels like the game is moving a bit smoother in Unreal Engine 4, which is good. We've got some very beautiful vistas. This game is chock full of good looking areas that you walk through. Unfortunately, the one thing you can say that's wrong with the game is that you only really walk through them. For the most part, there's not a lot of other interactions. So we're trying to find more traps. Another vista over here. Pretty smooth. There was a lot of just kind of hitchiness in it before. Here's another trap. So we're slowly filling it in. Who put these traps? I don't know. Have to get the right angle on it. We've almost got it. need to find one more trap. Of course, you could have missed this whole puzzle by just walking forward. All these traps trigger. I do not believe they could have actually ever hit you. They trigger too early. And now I am in a different location. In fact, you would always be in a different location. And what's this on the ground? Skulls and skeletons. So, this game plays with reality quite a lot. And now we are seeing a different reality, a world full of dead people, probably from traps. And we found something to read. So, it is Sap by Ethan Carter. We could zoom in like this, but it is a little difficult to read. It's easier just to hit Y for the text. It's sad that they didn't bother to voice act this. I think that would have been nice if they had had Ethan read his own story. But I'll read it for you. Sap. An old man came to the forest every day to drink sap from the trees. To get there, the old man had to step around many dangerous traps. The villagers believed the old man had hidden a jade amulet in the forest, but the old man wanted the village to believe this because they would search the forest for the treasure and not drink his sap. One cool fall night, someone set fire to the forest, and the fire spread to the village, and the old man escaped the fire by covering himself in sap. When he returned to the village, he found all the villagers' bones. The old man sat down and cried. Then he found more sap to drink. So, we can rotate this to see the back of it. And it's a little picture of a house on fire. So that's a story by Ethan Carter, and we are looking for Ethan.
I told you, you can't be here.
But Graham, I wrote something for you.
That's real nice. Thank you. Just leave it. I'll read it later.
So now we are in a different reality. It looks like where we were before, but there's a fire pit now. And there is a bottle of what could have been sap, or could have been alcohol. Maybe sap was alcohol. And in this fire we have something else to read. One Dead in a House Fire by Jeff Jermu. Bayfield County fire damaged a historic home in Red Creek Valley Wednesday morning, according to officials of the Bayfield County Fire Department. A family of 6 was asleep when the blaze broke out at a remote house once owned by Albert Van de Griff at 46 Old Ogden Road in Red Creek Valley. Gail Carter, 58, was pronounced dead at the scene. Remaining family members were able to escape. Carter's husband, Edwin, 62, told investigators that she may have fallen asleep with a lit cigarette in her hand. Firefighters were dispatched to the scene at 1:22 a.m. and remained at the scene until around 5 a.m. Wednesday. They returned to the property 4 hours later to extinguish hot spots, which had rekindled. So, one thing that is striking me about this, and I don't remember this bit happening in the original game, is that the controls are going back to the mouse and keyboard control indicators. If you look at the bottom, it says right click to rotate, middle click to zoom, space for text, left click to spin back. Now I can still use the controllers on the controllers, but it's a little annoying. And so when we turn the page around, we can see the other side. Let's see, and we can hit Y twice to see the other side. After heated public hearing, no answers for the Vandergrift's heirs by Tom Autumn. Bayfield County. Members of the Vandergrift family once again gathered in the Bayfield County Courthouse today to debate the fate of the Vandergrift fortune, which had remained in escrow since 1961, when family patriarch Albert Vandergrift, 71, died in a mine accident, the after effects of which nearby destroyed Vandergrift industrial and severely damaged the local economy. James Vandergrift, 38, of Chicago, argued that his father's demands were unreasonable and that many Vandergrift family members have personal reasons for wanting to avoid living in Red Creek Valley on the Vandergrift estate, as stipulated by the elder Vandergrift's will. The recent fire in which the Vandergrift home was damaged, he said, only underlies his family's concerns. So, this is Albert Vandergrift and then Carter's. Let's see. So the Carters are living in the Vandergrift house now. So nobody wanted to live, none of Vandergrift's family wanted to live in there. Is there anything else to read? Doesn't look like it. And we know that Gail died from that story. Stories within stories within stories is really the name of the game for this game. So we solved the first puzzle, which almost assuredly is totally skippable. There are some paths in this that maybe we didn't take, but they all lead the same way. This is the entire game in a nutshell, is that there will be a path on the right, a path straight through, and a path maybe on the left. But in the end, it is going to very quickly just merge right back to the middle, and there are no divergent ways to travel.
Red Creek Valley seemed like a quiet, ordinary place. I've learned two things in my life. No place is truly quiet, and nowhere is really ordinary. Ethan warned me about that. Warned me not to be fooled by what I saw here. He didn't need to worry. I'd worked dozens of cases, hundreds. This would be my last one. Already I knew that.
Already he knows this will be his last one. Here, let's just stare at the sun. Blind you! Blinded! It definitely feels smoother when we are walking. There was a lot in Unreal Engine of when you would start walking to another section, you'd get hitchiness of it loading. This feels smoother. Still no birds or animals. I wish there was birds or animals in this game. Just for my own personal reason. But there could very well be storyline reasons that could be argued as to why there aren't any birds in this game. Okay, so the first puzzle was just about finding traps, and you were given no more instructions, or you weren't even given instructions to find the traps. But now it's going to start helping you in one of the few ways it actually does, when you inspect things. Blood, animal, human, question mark, accident, murder, crankshaft, from fresh scratches, recently used. Where's the crank? So if you get away from looking towards the direction of the crank, it won't connect. But if you start looking to where the crank is, it will connect. And then you can hold A and see where it is. And it's this sphere. Now, the animation will go around in circles, so you can try to get as much context clues as possible to find it. And I wish this game did this more often, or if there was just a way to do it always. That would have been nice. We could enter this rail card right now, but I happen to know, having just played the game, that there's nothing that can be done there. So we have this dead end here that was here before. Just wanted to double check it. Pretty flowers. Just double check and make sure that they didn't add an entire section to the game. One of the things I said about this game is that after they've spent such an effort to make this world, it would be cool if their third or second game after this reintroduced this world and put some more gameplay mechanics in it. Just showed something useful. Showed that this could be used for something. Inspect. We'll inspect this. Cut ties, untied. Tied. No blood. Rope. Somebody was playing with rope on the railroad tracks. Let's inspect this. Rest of the corpse, question mark. Blood trail. Victim, dragged away, crawled away. Severed legs. Just gross severed legs. And here's the rest of them. Blood from legs, blood from fractured skull. Cause of death, blood loss, head trauma. So now I can touch them, and when I touch them, it starts to open just a little circle. And we've got to find elements that were particularly important as part of his death and recreate the scene to see the full occurrence. How we got these magical powers and why the game doesn't try to explain the magical powers at all is definitely lacking. I just ran right to it, didn't I? I'm not even being coy. I mean, I just played the game. I know what it is. It's not going to be anywhere different the second time. This is a different copy of the game. So, because it's a different copy of the game, I actually can somewhat undeservedly get all 14 of the achievements twice. But that doesn't really matter in Steam. It's not like they give you a gamer score with it. So we got the crankshaft. Let's work our way back up. Honestly, I could be running right now. I could be running and I probably would have been on the third puzzle. But I don't want this whole Redux series to be like 3 episodes. I want to see if I can stretch it some more. Oh, I went the wrong direction. Forgot, if you go up this way, that's the pathway towards the next part of the game. You have to go back the way you came. Speed it up. No hitching, no video. I'm not seeing any drop frames at all. This is definitely what you want out of games. And maybe a lot more games need to be converted up to Unreal Engine 4 from 3 if that's what this is going to get us, is a smooth experience on a good computer, which I think I do have a pretty good computer. Inspect gasoline, diesel fuel, dropped in a rush, canister, and then something right next to it to inspect, dried grass, rectangular shape, rail car from the bridge, question mark, rail car. We know the rail car is over there. Hold it. And it just shows us the rail car. Well, we had to have crossed the bridge. How could you possibly have not seen the rail car from crossing the bridge? That's a complete impossibility. Let's see. As silly as it sounds, I'm now looking for a rock. Rock, divot, fresh dirt, a rock. Oh, you know what? This will help me find the rock. It's right there by some tree stubs. Right next to a tree stub, next to rail tracks. Alright. This might actually be in a different place. Nah, it's right here. Inspect. So we have a rock with some blood on it. Take that rock and we'll run this way. So we have to set the scene to the way everything was before the murder happened. And if that was just said in a sentence, if the main character just said, set the scene, we get this audio cue, we're doing something right. That's good, that's helpful. But it would have been more helpful. We can go forward, but it's not really going to accomplish anything. We don't get enough speed on this thing. It's easier just to go backwards. Of course, it tried to change the direction when I turned around. So I had to, again, pull backwards on the control stick of my wired PC controller. So this is right where the legs got chopped off. But we know that's not where it started. Let's go ahead and turn it off and exit. Here we got that audio cue again. We weren't quite right where we're supposed to be, but it seems like the game is going to give it to me anyways. We should have been a little bit more forward, but... And then we have this divot that wants a rock, so we'll place the rock right there. And that is all we need. Now, how do we know we've done everything that we need to? Just trial and error, really. If the truth of it is that there should have been, like, quest. If they just put like a quest, or had them say, I can sense 5 objects that are out of place that need to be investigated. Something like that is all that would have been required to direct. it's cheesy to say the game it just isn't going to hold your hand. I don't think that's an acceptable thing. So now we see some ghosts, or bits of the past, perhaps, flying around, them all landing in different places. And when I get near them, something will appear. And we will investigate those somethings next time. So far, so great. This new version of the Vanishing of Ethan Carter Redux is running a lot better, and at this rate, we probably will get the series done in about half the time that it took us to do the original thing. And I do have a bit of a surprise that we're going to run across either in the next few episodes, because I did find out a secret. Hint, hint, it has to do with a grenade. And that will be interesting. Anywho, that's it for this recording. I end all my episodes the same way. I ask you to like this video. I ask you to share it with your friends. I ask you to comment if you want to. And I ask you to watch every second of my videos, because all of that stuff helps me with YouTube quite a lot. The other thing I ask you to do is click on my name, Rydo. That'll take you to my main YouTube page. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. If you can click that and make a donation of any amount, it would be greatly appreciated. Also, from my main YouTube page is my playlist tabs. Click on that. See all the other games I've covered. I have covered a lot of them, and I'm planning on covering a lot more. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. Uh, then finally, I have a bunch of social media site links down below in the description. I am on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Steam, Battle.net, and Tumblr, and maybe a few more. So follow me on all of those. That lets you know the second a new video is out. I release new videos every Monday through Friday. So tomorrow or Monday, the next video for this series will come out. And then I always wrap up saying, and I truly mean it, thank you for watching. Have a good evening.